In my culture, death is not the end. It's more of a stepping off point. You reach out with both hands and bust.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, as you could probably guess by the little cold open and the title of the video. So, this movie, I have a lot to talk about. This movie was a lot of things, but most prominently to me, it felt like a love letter to Chadwick Boseman. I don't need to sit here and tell you why Chadwick Boseman was important to me, but I'm going to anyways. He was such an amazing actor. He was an amazing, and I saw a lot of his stuff outside of the role of Black Panther. He was an amazing person in general, you know, going around helping kids who had cancer, knowing he himself had cancer, and I respect the hell out of that. I love when actors do that for kids. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to other people who have been affected by cancer in their family, so I automatically love him for that. And he brought so much to the MCU. His presence, you could tell it was felt by the cast, the fans, the producers, the writers, the executives. Everyone seemed to love Chadwick, and it was heartbreaking to see him pass away. Also, sorry if my voice sounds funny, or if I'm struggling talking or stuttering a lot. I'm suffering from a really bad sinus infection right now, so it kind of hurts to talk, and to talk continuously, so bear with me on this review. So I do believe that this was one of the better Phase 4 movies, and there was only like two really great Phase 4 movies in my opinion, that being No Way Home and Wakanda Forever. Those were great movies. I could rewatch these over and over again. They are fantastic. They're very fun. And I'm excited to see more Black Panther, but let's jump straight into the review. The first thing I want to talk about is the plot.
Have lost their protector. Now is our time to strike.
So the plot of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is very complex. There's a lot of subplots within the film as well that tie into the overall plot. You have the stuff with the US government trying to figure out why Wakanda is attacking them, even though they're not. You have the stuff with Namor and deciding what they need to do with Wakanda. You have the stuff with Everett Ross helping Wakanda while trying not to get caught by the government. And then you have obviously Shuri trying to find her place after the, post-death of her brother T'Challa. Then you have the whole stuff of, Namor threatening Wakanda. And then you have Shuri determining what she's going to do with Namor, because it's a very complex situation. And I thought that all of these different plots really made for a much more compelling narrative, because you started to care about these characters, why each character is doing what they're doing and where they're coming from. There was just so many little things that boiled over, no pun intended, into a much bigger plot that I thoroughly enjoyed with Namor, because to me, it's always, you got the good guys, something bad happens, they find out who the bad guy is, and they stop the bad guy. In this movie, it felt more engaging than that. It really tried its best to have you not just understand where Namor is coming from, but to sympathize with him. You're like, damn, he was sold as a slave. Damn, he just wants best for what is, for his people. And I really liked that. I thought that Black Panther did a great job with Killmonger, trying to understand where he comes from. But I thought Wakanda Forever did that better, just because you spent more time with Namor. He was always constantly there. They were always constantly mentioning Namor. He was always centered in the plot, and I really liked that. I heard a lot of people complaining that this felt like a very standalone film. It didn't feel connected to the rest of the MCU, which, first of all, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's okay to not feel connected to the rest of the MCU at times. Sometimes I just want a good movie, especially after Love and Thunder. I just wanted a good movie. Damn it. But it did set up a lot from Phase 4 into Phase 5. You had Valentina over here, who is the head of the goddamn Thunderbolts, which is the capstone movie for Phase 5. So I thought that was a really big thing. I didn't know she was in the film, so that was That was incredible. Like, I was like, that's the person who does the thing with the people. That's set up. That's great. And then you had, you learn that vibranium isn't just in Wakanda. There was the asteroid that wiped out. Oh, that was a big reveal too. The asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs actually had vibranium on it, and crashed near Mexico as well. Splintered off into a separate meteor or meteorite, and just crashed over at the crater over there where Namor's people were. And here we are. We got vibranium now. So good stuff. It's everywhere now. I think that changes the political climate for stuff like Captain America: New World Order. I think it's going to definitely, affect something over there, because it's going to be a very political movie. Captain America always is a very political movie, so I'm really excited to see that. I definitely think it did set up. It wasn't just a standalone film, but I digress. We're focusing here on Black Panther, and overall the plot was amazing. They just wanted to stop Namor from killing this girl who was introduced, Ironheart. And Ironheart, Riri Williams, is a very intelligent little girl. And she knows that the feds are after her. You must be pretty smart if you're like a freshman in college and the feds are already after you. So I thought she was a great addition to the cast. I'll get to characters in just a moment. But to wrap up about plot, the stuff with, Namor and Wakanda coming together and fighting, and eventually, looking past their differences and coming together, I really enjoyed that. And I guess with all that being said, let's talk about the characters.
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone. Have I not given everything?
This cast had a lot of characters, a lot of returning characters, and some few new characters. I'm going to talk about the new characters first, that being Riri Williams and Namor. So Riri Williams, aka Ironheart. Fantastic addition. She was very quippy, she was very smart, very funny, and she was like Shuri mixed with Peter Parker. I really liked that. I can't wait to see where the rest of her story goes. I do believe there's an Ironheart show coming out. I'm not too sure if I'm remembering that right, but I believe there is. I do hope to see more of her backstory, how she got to where she was at the beginning of this film, where she's going to go on next, because they are setting up these new Avengers, these young Avengers, and it's going to be fun to see her interact with all the other newer characters that were being introduced throughout Phase 4. Now, Namor is probably one of the most dynamic and round and complex villains we've had in the, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 combined. You really felt where he was coming from. You understood his motive. No one wants to be enslaved, and you can really feel the pain there, and you can really feel the love and the pride he has for his people and his culture. It was such beautifully shot, too. It was so beautiful. Those underwater shots, the underwater shots of Discount Atlantis. I start with a T. I can't remember the name. Talokan? I don't know, something like that. Very beautiful city, and I can't wait to see more of it and more of Namor. Now, some of the returning characters that I want to talk about. Shuri went through a lot this film. The very opening scene of this film was hard. It was very hard to watch. You see the death of T'Challa through an unknown illness. She tried her best to recreate the heart-shaped herb and failed, unfortunately. Then her mom comes walking out and saying her brother's dead. It was very heartbreaking. We cut to a silent Marvel logo that's purple and all of Chadwick, which was hard. It was very beautiful, but very hard to watch. I thought Shuri did an amazing job at taking up the mantle of Black Panther. She just went through this very transformative journey of transforming her grief and her pain and her anger into the, not the Black Panther, but her version of the Black Panther. She is the new Black Panther, and I think every Black Panther has a little bit of themselves in it, and I thought that she channeled all that into this new version of the Black Panther that I really enjoyed. And then the way she moved, by the way, was so amazing. It was eye candy seeing how well that she moved, on screen, like scraping and clawing against all the guards on the side of that obstruct in the middle of the ocean or object, whatever it was. Very, very fun to watch. But Shuri went through so much this film, and I really love the character development there. It was very complex, very dynamic, and that leads me to her mom, the Queen Mother, who, wow, the acting there. The best part of her character here is when she's like, I have have I not given enough? Have I not given everything? And that was so powerful. Even though it was in the trailer, seeing it in the film and the context behind that was amazing and very heartbreaking. And killing her off was something I didn't expect was going to happen. That was really shocking because there's already so much death centered around this film, and they still killed off a character. And I respect it for, I respect when Marvel does something final. They kill off a character, and they don't do that enough when it comes to like a main character. And I just thought that was a very powerful, acting moment. It was a very powerful scene. The last character I really want to talk about is Killmonger. Never thought I'd see him again. It was really great, and I think appropriate for him to be the one to greet Shuri. I thought that their speech together, or their dialogue together, was phenomenal because he was right. Shuri was like Killmonger. She was very angry and confused why the world was the way it was, and she wanted to do everything to change that. She wanted to burn the world down, and Killmonger gave her the fire that she needed. And although she took his words and used it into her own actions, I thought that the dialogue between those characters was well needed. It was a great change of pace, and it was very emotional. Everything about this film was emotional. You'll hear me say that a lot this review, as you already have, but fantastic scene between these two characters.
Only the most broken people can be great leaders.
So something I love talking about when it comes to movies is soundtracks, and this movie had an amazing soundtrack. And I'm not talking about the lyrical soundtrack, which was amazing, and every song had its place and purpose. I'm talking about the orchestral stuff where, the composer comes in, creates original music for the film. I loved it all. It was very, very beautiful. I think Black Panther has always had a good score, whether it's, in the first movie, the second movie, or when they just go to Wakanda in, Avengers Infinity War. It's always had a great score. When you hear that score, you immediately know you're talking about Black Panther. You immediately know you're thinking of Wakanda. And I think when you have something that iconic, it's just makes for a good score. And I could listen to that score constantly. It's such an amazing one, and the composer should be very proud of what they made. The fans love it. I thought it worked amazing in this film, and I cannot wait to hear more later on.
Killing him will risk eternal war.
He's coming for the surface world.
So final thoughts about the film. It was amazing. It was really hard to get through. It was definitely a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. I think he would have been proud if he saw this film. I am very, very grateful and proud for everyone who was behind this film. They did an amazing job. And I know there was a lot of issues with filming and rewrites and stuff due to the unexpected death of Chadwick Boseman. I know there was supposed to be a completely different plot and all that stuff, but what they did I thought was amazing. Namor was great, the plot was great, the visuals were all great, the soundtrack was great. I don't really have any nitpicks that I can think of, to be honest with you. I just can't think of any nitpicks. If I can't think of a nitpick at the top of my head, I just think it was a great film. I had a lot of fun watching it. But the last thing I do want to talk about is that mid-credits scene where we learn that there's a T'Challa out there, little baby T'Challa. T'Challa did have a son, and that was very heartwarming. Shuri gets to meet him, and I was wondering why Shuri's mom was like, I need to tell you something about your brother, and then they got distracted, and then all the Namor stuff happened. So I was very frustrated. I was like, are they just not going to show that or tell us? Because her mom's dead now. She doesn't know. But I think Shuri kind of put two together what her mom wanted to say. But overall, a great film, and I'm really, really hoping to see more of Black Panther in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Let me know what your favorite moment was down in the comments below. And if you want to be notified every single time I upload a new Marvel review, reaction, whatever it may be, don't forget to hit that notification bell. With all that being said, I'll see you guys in my latest reaction to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 4, or I guess after this it'd be Phase 5.
Subscribe to Zang Helios for some more unfrickin'